Hi everyone. So what I'm going to show you today is how to convert your fruit density file so that it holds more fruit types. So I'm going to try to explain a little bit about what's going on here and why we need to do this, but I'm also going to go step by step about how to change it, because in the past it would be like either restart your save game, or it would be for a map maker. A lot of times they would have to repaint the entire map's foliage. Well, you don't have to do this anymore with this little tool that I found. So I'm going to kind of go through that. And I'm not going to go step by step through this, only because I have things already downloaded and installed on my computer, so I'm gonna kind of go from that way. And I'm also kind of assuming you have at least a little bit of knowledge, especially for a map maker. You should definitely know a lot of this stuff, with the GRLE converter and things like that already. So we're gonna skip like a little bit. I'm not gonna go through it like everything, downloading, installing, all that kind of stuff, but I'm gonna try to hit the big points here. So, and the other disclaimer too before we start is my way is just a way that I found to do it. I'm sure there's, lots of other ways and maybe even ways that are easier, but for me, this works, and that's probably what you'll find here is that I do what works, and maybe it's not the shortest or the quickest way, but it's what works. Anyway, here we go. So if you look in the map i3D on this line right here, so this is the default US map from Giants. They have the number of channels at 10. So this is the line you're going to look at. So here's where the foliage goes, the fruits and everything on the map. So they have number of channels at 10, number of index type channels at 5, and compression channels at 5. So from reading that blog post, which is included in that area where the script is, I learned a little bit more about some of these lines on here. Basically, this compression channels, you shouldn't ever have to mess with that. Like in the past, we would increase that thinking that that really helped, and it really doesn't, because what it does is, so each one of these layers has its own, has maybe what, 7, 8 stages with it, including like, for instance, like on wheat, it's going to have a couple growth stages. It's going to have the harvest ready stage, the dead stage. It has, like I said, 7 or 8. Increasing the number of channels just on the compression channels just gives it more space for that, which we aren't adding any. We don't need any more, so that can always stay 5. The number of index type channels, that's really the number here that you need to increase to get more, because right now Giants only leaves a space for 1 with this current version of FS25. So in order to add more crops, we really need to up these numbers here, and to do that. So what I did was, over on my map, Uncharted Valley, what I did was I increased the number of channels to 12, and then I increased the number of index channels to 6. So again, this is the main number here. I did 12. And again, I'm not really sure what this does. It kind of explains a little bit in the blog post, but really this number is the key for increasing it from 32 fill type fruit types to 64. So that is how I did that there, and you can kind of see I added, hemp, rye, linseed, and cranberry so far to mine. But either way, you're going to want to have my new version 2.0 installed, and you'll need that as well for what we're about to do. All right, so let's get into it. So the first thing we need to do is we need the GRLE converter, and you can go to Giants Developer Network. So you guys can see that, and again, I'm not going to go step by step with that, but the Giants Developer Network, go to the downloads, GRLE converter right here, download that and unzip it. And when you unzip it, you're going to get something, and I'm switching windows here, but you're going to get something that looks like this right here. So I have a bunch of extra stuff in here. Basically what you need is you just need this convert file, and then you'll need that in there. So whatever folder you put it in, it doesn't really matter, as long as they're in the same folder. So all right, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to your save game. So let's go there first. So we're going to go Farming Simulator 25, and here's my save game that I want to do. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to make a copy of it, just because I don't want to screw anything up. So I'm just going to copy and paste the whole folder and just leave my copy right down there. In the save game folder, this is the file right here that you want, density map fruits. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that and drag that into the GRLE folder, or copy it, copy it in there, either one. So let's drag that in there, and I'm kind of doing this on 2 different screens here, so we'll try to get that. So now it's in the GRLE folder, and that will be here. So now it's right here. So what we're going to do is, all you have to do, again, having this in the same folder with this and this, you just simply click that, drag it up here, and it will say this, it'll give you this screen right here. saving it to density map fruits.png, and we're going to press any key to continue. All right, so now what that did was, so these files that are .gdm are only readable by Giant's editor. We really aren't sure how to read it, other than to what we can do is convert it. So when we convert it with the GRLE converter, it converts it to a PNG, and that PNG file looks something like this. So you can kind of see on here all these different masks on here, all these different colors on here represent different foliages. Like obviously this like main red color is like the grass, because I have a ton of grass painted on here. So that's a lot of that, but you can kind of see these other different colors are like the bushes and deco foliages and stuff like that, which can be kind of a pain to have to go in and replace everyone to repaint them. So it really works out a lot better to do it this way. So we're going to convert. We have to do this first to get this image file in order for our Python script to be able to read it. So the next thing you're going to want to do after you do that is you're going to want to install Python. And you can go to Python, you can just search it. I would just say install Python on Google, and you should come to this page right here, python.org/downloads. It's right here. So you're going to want to download and install Python. So once you have that installed, then you can go to and I'll have the link down there. Then you can go to this page right here, and you got to grab this script. So this is going to be the script that's going to convert this file. So it even says right here, it says when updating to 5 to 6 index channels. Because what's going to happen is when we up the number of channels, basically what happens is it sets everything back a stage. So like wheat harvest ready would all of a sudden now be wheat the last growth stage. It just kind of goes back one bit, if that makes sense. It just kind of goes back one level, and then some of the other stuff that's like like not even growing yet might go to a different crop. So we really have to like get these changed. So you can download the script by hitting that file, hitting that button right there to download it. And since I already have it, that's going to be right over here. So once you have it downloaded, you're going to have the 32 to 64, and I have an extra couple things in here. But you're going to have this 32 to 64 _ run. You're going to want to put that in a folder and have that ready to go along with your fruit density file that you just converted. So if I go to here and I drag this density map fruits over to that convert file folder, so now it's here. I've got that on here like that. So I've got everything in the same folder. So the first thing I have to do is I have to edit this script. So if I right click on this and I'm going to edit with Notepad, it's going to open up the script right here. So I need to go in here and change and find the path for this folder. So the way to do that would be just simply right clicking on that and on your folder and do copy as path. Then when you come in here to this, you can paste the path in there like this. Just make sure when you do that you get rid of the extra things on this line, the extra quotation marks at the end, and then also these slashes. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I changed it. I just made these slashes go the other way, and again I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of going by what I had seen in the script here. So you can see here, so that's all you have to change on the script. So you can see the path to that folder. We're going to put a slash on the end here just to make sure. And then you can see density map fruits. So what's going to happen is it is going to go into that file and it's going to change the colors of that like all down. So whatever is like a certain color red is going to then go down so it matches the new file. So and then if you take a look down here, it's going to save that with an _.png at the end. So you'll still have your original file and you'll have the new one there. So I'm going to save that. And the next thing I need to do is open up PowerShell, but there's again a couple different ways to do it. You're going to hold down Shift and right click and see how it says open PowerShell window here. So you're going to click that. And you're going to get this screen right here. It's going to give you your path to where it's going. The other thing that I did on here too was that when I started this, I got an error when I tried to run that script at first. I got an error that said no module name PIL in Python. Now, if you look at the top of the script. I'm not going to go back to it now, but it actually says like PIL import file or something like that. So you need to install the this plugin. So and again, I'll have this in the description. You want to type into there into this window. You want to type in pip install pillow, and that's a plugin that allows you to import the image. So I'm gonna I had already typed that in and installed that. It installs it and downloads it for you automatically. So once you do that, then you should be able to have this work. So once you have that done, then so we've got that open, we got the PowerShell window open, we got the pill installed, we can run this script. So how to run it is going to be, you're going to type in Python 32 and then the name of that file, 32 to 64 underscore run.py. Press enter, and what's going to happen is it's going to say this translating a 8192 by 8192 pixels file. This actually takes a little bit of time. I'm not going to stop the video or pause it or anything during this. I'm going to let it run through just to kind of show you it does take a little bit of time to do this. And again, what it's doing is it's recoloring all of the pixels in there to basically go down a bit. So like that way Giant's editor will read it or your save game will read it so that you don't have to restart or repaint anything. It's converting your fruit density file as is. And there's a couple other scripts on there. There's a terrain height one, which is the tip to ground. So anything you tip on the ground, like any fruits or silage or anything like that, that's on there too. And then that can also potentially work. I tried the one that they have up there as of the video upload, and for me that's not working yet. I'm not really sure why, but that's another thing that they've made it so that if you do have like a lot of products on the ground, like for instance a lot of map makers do mining products, that will change that so it does that. Okay, so now we have it, it's finished, and you can see, so we can close out this window here. You can see on here now you have a density maps underscore fruits, and that's the one that it just did. So kind of looking at these two images, here's our original, here's the new one. You can see what it did. It actually, ended up making this, when it repainted it, it actually made this, quite a bit brighter, because again, that was the next bit down that it had to go back to. So anyway, so we have these two files. I'm going to go ahead and delete the original one because I don't need that anymore. So I'm going to delete that. Is rename this file. So we need to rename it density map fruits. Get rid of the underscore T. Okay. And then we're going to go back to our original save game folder right here. And we're going to go ahead and delete this density map fruits. You might have moved it before, but if you made a copy of it, make sure you delete it. We're going to drag in the new image file for density map fruits, which once you refresh it, should show up right here. And then all you should be able to do is load the game, and then next time you save in your game, it will convert this back to a GDM file, and you will be all set. So if you're a map maker, what you could do too is you could open up the editor and put that in there and then save it and take it in there. But again, you don't have to do that. The game should automatically take care of that. Had some weird things happening when I was trying to make this video. The editor wouldn't open the fruit density file that we did. I don't know, it was saying the wrong number of channels, which is really weird because I was able to do my save and X-Man save and no problem, and all of a sudden it wouldn't open them. So the game will take care of that. But if you're a map maker, what you could do is, and I do this a lot sometimes with this, is you could open up, you can make like a dummy test map folder from an older version of the game, maybe like the 17 or 19, and you could open up either Giant's Editor 7 or 8, and that should open it up and save it. And then as long as the number of channels and everything, like I showed you at the beginning, are correct in that, I would make sure they're what you want them, 12, 6, and 5, I believe. If you do that, then that should save it, and then you can use that in the newer version. It's very weird because at some point in the newer version, they made some different changes where like it wouldn't read those extra channels. If you added them, it wouldn't open those files, but I found the older editor work. So good luck to everybody, and thank you.